Hey guys, it's Miss Leone here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to draw three-dimensional forms step by step. So the supplies that we're going to need for this are a piece of paper, a pencil, and an eraser. So you're going to be following along with each step exactly, drawing each step out exactly as I do, and you can use this in the future as a reference. So let's begin. So we're going to start by naming this paper Drawing Forms Step by Step. I like to underline it. I'm going to put my name in the corner. Make sure you put your name. Alright, so the first form that we're going to draw is a cube. So a few things about a cube. A cube is a three-dimensional form that has 6 equal sides that are squares, and it looks the same from any perspective. So that means no matter which way you turn it around, it's going to look the same. Everything's going to measure the same. Alright, so for the cube, we have step 1 is we're just going to draw a square. Okay, make sure it's even on all sides. If not, it becomes a rectangle. Step 2 is we're going to draw a second square, so we're going to draw that same square again, and then we're going to draw a second square kind of behind it, overlapping in the corner. Okay? And then after that, for step 3, we are going to connect. So we're going to draw that square again, the second square like we did in step 2, and then all we're going to do is, using our pencil, connecting these lines. Okay? So that's how it's going to look. So let me just show you how it's not going to look real quick. So this is going to be nose, right? So for the cube, we want to make sure that both squares are the same. So let's see what happens when they're not both the same. So if you draw one big one, one little one, and then you connect them, you can see it's very crooked. So if yours looks like this, make sure that your squares are the same. Also, make sure that you're actually drawing squares, right? Not like a rhombus or a trapezoid, because let's see what happens when we connect it. It gets very crooked, right? So we don't want that to happen either. Okay? And also, let's see. Let's draw one more. Alright, so if they're not squares, if you just draw whatever you want, it's going to look really, really sloppy. So we don't want that. So those are no's for the cube. Make sure that all the squares are the same size and the diagonal lines are parallel. What I mean by that is that 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 diagonal lines are parallel. Alright, so the next one we're going to do, number 2, is rectangular prism. And we're going to be drawing 2 types here. So step 1, you're going to start with either a rectangle facing this way, right, horizontally. So a rectangle is a 3D form which has 6 faces that are rectangles, but 2 of the sides are shorter. The 2 opposite sides are shorter than the 2 opposite sides are longer. So you can either do it horizontally or vertically. Okay? Step 2 is we're going to draw a horizontal rectangle and then a second one. So this is just like the cube. It's just like it, but we're using rectangles instead. So you can either draw it like that or the long way, vertically. And we're not using rulers here, so to the best of your ability. Okay? And then for step 3 finally, we're going to be connecting those. So we're going to have our 2 horizontal rectangles overlapping, or our 2 vertical rectangles overlapping, and then we're going to connect them. Again, the same thing. Make sure that these diagonal lines are parallel, all the vertical lines are parallel, all the horizontal lines are parallel. And that's how we have that. So let me just show you some nose on the rectangular prism. Okay, so some nose would be, again, if you have one size, make sure that the other one isn't like really little. right? We want to just draw them accurately in a basic way. Make sure that they're not crooked, because then they're going to look all lopsided, okay? Same thing. So if yours look like this, then you need to make sure that you're starting off with two even-sized, perfectly rectangle, same size as each other, and then connect them with straight parallel diagonal lines. All right, the next one we're going to do is a pyramid. We're going to be doing the square base pyramid, quadrilateral pyramid. All right, so we're starting step one. We're starting with a rhombus, almost like a diamond, just a little wider, okay? Step two. So remember, you guys are drawing each of these steps, so your paper should look just like mine. I want to see you draw all these steps. Step two, we're going to draw that rhombus again, and we're going to add a dot right above this bottom point, right around here. Not too far, not too short. And then step three, we're going to draw a rhombus. We're going to put our dot on top. And then all we're doing is connecting from the top of the dot to the edges. And that's how we do a pyramid. So let me show you a couple of ways how not to do the pyramid. So some nose would be, if we draw our rhombus and we put the dot too close, it's going to be like stubby and short. So we don't want that. Another no would be starting with our rhombus, putting the dot off to the side, because then it's crooked, right? We don't want a slanted pyramid. We want it to be straight, okay? And then another thing, do not start with a square, because the perspective is going to be off here. It messes up the eye level, okay? And then one more no would be to put the dot all the way up here and to just have like this tall, skinny pyramid, okay? So we're making sure that it's not too short, that it's not slanted, that it's not starting with a square, and that it's not too tall. All right. The next form that we are going to draw is a triangular prism. Okay, so step one, so just like the rectangle, I'm going to show you two different directions. Step one is we're going to start off, so this is not an equilateral triangle, meaning that it's not the same on all sides. Almost looks like a wedge. So you can make one with the triangle point facing up, or starting off with a flat line and making that point facing down. That's step one. Step two, we're going to redraw those same two triangles, except we're adding a second one directly underneath, or facing down. So whichever one you're drawing, the second one is matching it. And this is tricky even for me, getting them lined up directly on top of each other, okay? But to the best of your ability. And then step three, or facing down. And then we're just going to connect those edges to each other. All right, as so. Same thing here. So depending on the height you want to make, it can be short, it can be taller. It's up to you. Let me show you some nose. It's a triangular prism. I'll just show you some nose real quick. So we're not starting off with equilateral triangles, meaning even on all sides. because it throws off the perspective, and the eye level, same thing. But the one that's facing down, okay, it just throws off the eye level. So these are nose. Another one would be, we want to make sure that they're both the same size. Okay, we don't want it to be looking all crooked. Remember, I'm just showing you the basic fundamental ones. If you're drawing something that actually looks like this, then you would draw it like that. Another one is make sure that your triangles are right on top of each other so it's not crooked. Okay, so those are some notes. All right, next we're gonna draw a cylinder. All right, so a cylinder, it's a 3D form that has two rounded shapes at either end and two parallel lines that connect them. Okay, so we are going to be starting with step 1. You're going to start off with an oval that's either horizontal or vertical, okay? And you're going to be doing both here. Step 2, draw your oval. Remember, an oval is not a circle, it's an oval right on top of each other, and if you're doing it vertically, right next to each other. Step 3, you're just going to be connecting those. So you have to redraw them, and then you're just connecting them. Make sure you're going from the edge to the edge, okay? So let me show you how not to do this cylinder. Alright, so first of all, we want to make sure that the cylinder is the same size, both circles. I mean, unless you're drawing something that looks like this, but for what we're doing, we want to try to make it even and basic. Okay, so they have to be the same size, so they're not two different sizes. You're not starting off with circles, because again, this messes with the eye level. We're making sure that they're not crooked, okay, or like wobbly, or like even if you have them the same, don't draw them like this. This is a mistake I see often. It should be going from the edge to the edge. So if any of yours look like this, go back and see what you need to do to change it. And finally, the last form that we are going to draw is a cone. And a cone is just a 3D form that's made up of a circle and an oval, and then it goes down into a point. That's called the apex. It's actually very similar to the pyramid, how these 4 points go up, right? Up to one point, that's called the apex. It's very similar, except it's with a rounded shape. Okay, so for the cone, we are going to be starting with either, I'll put step 1 down here. We're going to be starting with either an oval that is low, or an oval that is high, or an oval that is vertical, right? So we have 2 horizontal ones, one is low, one is high, okay, and then one is vertical. Step 2, you're going to, on your low oval, make a dot directly in the center above, or on the high oval, make a dot directly below in the center, or for the vertical oval, we're going to make a dot that is directly over here. And then step 3, I've got to squish this in here now. Alright, so step 3, let me just separate these steps here, because now I'm getting a little confused. So I'm separating these steps. So, okay, I have that, or I have this, or I have this. So make sure it's in the center, and then all you're doing is taking your pencil, and from the edge of, the best way to do it is from the edge of the oval up to the point. So that way it meets. So this kind of looks like a hat, like a party hat. This one from the edge of the oval down to the point. This looks like an ice cream cone. And then the sideways one, so this is going to look like it's laying down. Alright, so then those are the 3 cones that you guys are going to be drawing. So let me just show you some nose. So, it's not going to be bumpy, so make sure it's an oval, okay? It's not going to be a circle. It's not going to be slanted, so make sure that your dot is directly under or it ends up slanting. We don't want that. Okay? And then also, we don't want it to look like this. We want to make sure that the edges go to the edge of the ovals. And that's how you do cone. Alright guys, so then that's the steps for the 6 forms, how to draw them. So cube, rectangular prism, pyramid, triangular prism, cylinder, and cone. And then when you're done with this, for your homework assignment, you're just going to be doing them 5 times each. So you're going to set up your paper, you're going to write cube, rectangular prism, pyramid, triangular prism, cylinder, cone, and I'm missing one. Am I? No, I'm not. Okay. So you're going to do 5 times each. So just go in here using the steps that we just did. I'm not going to do them all. You're going to do this. I'll just drew one. So you're going to do the cube 5 times. You're going to do the rectangular prism 5 times. Okay. You're going to do the pyramid 5 times. So for the rectangular prism, if you wanted to switch it up and do some vertical and horizontal ones, that's fine. The triangular prism, you can mix them up. So you're just doing each one 5 times. Mine are not looking perfect right now because I'm just trying to just give you the gist. Again, you can do different ways. You don't have to do, as long as it's 5 times and it's very neat. And then the cone, you can switch it up however you want to do it, as long as they're 5 times each. And you're going to label this drawing forms 5 times each. Okay? So that is your homework. After you write out each step, you draw them out, then you're going to do 5 times each. Alright guys, so remember all the steps. Make sure that you draw them all exactly as I have, and please make sure you remember all the nose. And I have all this information in the assignment attached, so make sure you check that out as well. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!